2 of this spring equinox for Orilium Magical Readathon. Now we are at a different location. As you can see, well, we're still in our apartment, but now I'm sitting here so I can do some diamond painting. This is upside down. This is the diamond painting I'm working on. I have only this part left here, but you can see how huge it is. I started working on this one about previous Halloween, not last year, but the one before that, because obviously it's Halloween themed. But I still haven't finished it. I just don't feel that tempted by this one. But we are here now because I am trying to read more of Murtagh, and I found out that when I actually sit down and listen to it while reading, I lose focus. So I'm listening to it while actually diamond painting, and that feels like I don't lose focus as easily because I'm doing something active with my hands, and I have to focus on that, and I have to focus on the audiobook, so I don't lose focus as easily. So anyway, it is now Tuesday morning, by the way. So we're starting the vlog a bit late. We're just rolling with it. And I am now this far in, so I'm on page about 400 now. And I have about 260 pages left. So now in the morning I actually listened to about 30 pages, so now I'm on page 430. And so I have 230 pages left. And yeah, this is the 5th book in the Inheritance Cycle series, kind of like a companion novel rather than 5th book, like rather than continuation of the series. And I'm enjoying this one now. Like the beginning was a little bit like, the setup was very quick and it felt a little unnatural, I would say. I had doubts. But now we are at the point in the book where we visited this really creepy village that seems awfully a lot like a cult, and it's so much fun, and I can't wait what happens here. But other than that, what we're going to be talking about in this vlog is also Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Here I am this far in. I have about 90 pages left, so almost done with this one, so hopefully finish this vlog. I mean, all of these books, I'm reading 3 books right now. So hopefully I'll get to finish all of these 3 books in this vlog, because otherwise I feel like I'm failing, really. And then the 3rd book I'm reading is Western Lane by Chetna Maru. And this is literary fiction about 3 girls and their father. And the 3 girls lost their mother. She passed away. And now they are kind of like trying to deal with life afterwards. It is not very heavy on the like grief, but it is a big part of it. So it is interesting so far. I'm not like hooked, but it's okay. It's okay. So those are the books I'm reading right now. But yeah, so I did some diamond painting now in the morning, read a little bit of Murtagh, and now it's time to go to work. So I'll talk to you later. Okay, it is now Tuesday evening. I'm currently on my sprints. We are now sprinting, and I thought that I would come here and we could actually have a look at what is my self-care act for this weekend, or at least to begin with. You know, it's not limited to only one self-care a week, but at least to start. So I have here my notebook, so let's go. So here is my dice, so let's do it. That is an 8. An 8 is light a candle and cuddle up in a blanket. That sounds very doable. Yeah, I basically never can read without cuddling up in a blanket, so that part's not a problem. The problem is to light a candle. That I usually don't do, so that's gonna be a nice one. So I'm gonna do that probably not now, but maybe on the weekend or on Friday, we'll see. Yeah, when I can enjoy it much more. Now I'm on the sprints, I have my own thing kind of, so not right now, but yeah, that's an exciting one. All right, I'm sure this is the same position as last time. So for you, it was 2 seconds. It looks exactly the same, but for me, it's been 2 days. I don't know when I talked to you last time, but it is now Thursday evening. It is 10 p.m. And I just finished, let me get it, Western Lane by Chetna Maru. I found out it was for the alchemy class, actually. The alchemy class was the prompt circle on the cover. You got circle on the cover. Even though I do not need this class. I do need it for the Beastmaster, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't need this, but still we're counting it. Luckily, it's a short book. It is like 161 pages, and I did not have fun. I did not. The entire time I expected what would happen next, or what was going to be the big reveal, what was going to be the big goal we are building towards. But it wasn't. It was all just about squash. If you like squash, read it. I love tennis, didn't give me anything. So this is basically a story of them dealing with the grief. The father, on advice of his brother, starts bringing them to play squash. And so the two older sisters, they play squash, but they are not that into it. But Gopi, the youngest sister, she is very talented and she really like embraces it. She spends so much time in the squash arena or like the squash court and watching videos of the best squash players ever. And this kind of becomes her thing with her dad that they do together and they connect over it. But then there are some things that happen that I don't understand why they happened or what they are supposed to mean. Lots of the times there was something that was happening in the story or in the book that was just kind of like open ending. It was just a thought of something and it wasn't finished. It was something noted, something observed, but not explained enough. And I just feel like I didn't get enough information about the scene or about just the situation to deduce it myself. And it was so frustrating because I felt like I was the entire time waiting for something to happen, for all of this to come together, but nothing happened. Even the last sentence is really weird. So unfortunately, I didn't like this one. I don't know what the rating of it will be, but I think it would be unfair to other 3-star books if I gave this 3 stars. So this is probably going to be like a 2-star. It wasn't bad, like I was kind of intrigued to see what was going to happen next, but I wasn't having fun and nothing happened. So I think 2 stars for this one, if I were to guess. And then yesterday I didn't get to read anything at all because yesterday was a very busy day. We got home at like 8:30 because I had the office thing. I had we had after work from the office at the escape room, so that was a lot of fun, but I still left quite early. I didn't stay with the colleagues out drinking. That's probably what they were going to do. I don't drink, so I went home. I also didn't feel very good. I felt very anxious, so it was good to come home. And yesterday was very difficult, but I did get to read a couple pages of Get the Life Chloe Brown, but other than that, no progress, and went to sleep really early because I started to crash at like 10 p.m. I was exhausted. It was insane. I don't remember last time I was that exhausted as I was yesterday, but it was probably just lack of sleep, multiple nights, lots of activities. I had a presentation at work, which I usually don't do. Like, I don't think I ever had a presentation, or if it was a long time ago. So it was a lot that was happening. And on top of that, tons of anxiety. So it was a lot. So I didn't read much. But then today I read yesterday's sections of Murtagh as well. And so I am, 2 sections away from finishing. So like 100 something pages left. So hopefully finish, probably not tomorrow, because I have audiobook of this, so I'll try to space it out a little bit over the weekend. But yeah, definitely finishing this weekend. And now I'm going to focus on this one and try to get this one done ASAP because I have like 80 pages left. So I could try to get this one done. So that is the update. No update on the self-care. Yeah. I thought maybe today, but it just doesn't feel right. I think I'll do it on Saturday because Saturday I'll be home alone when Henrik is actually going away for one night. So Saturday is my evening. So I'll probably make it like super self-care kind of evening. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go read now more of Get a Life Chloe Brown, and I'll talk to you later. It is now Saturday evening, and I am really bad at vlogging this time. I don't know why. I just really struggle. But I am here to talk to you about the books I've been reading. So I haven't talked to you since Thursday, so it's been 2 days. But I finished Get a Life, Chloe Brown in the morning. That was for restoration. The prompt was, I don't know how many times I already said it, but I repeated it because what if I didn't say it? The prompt was a book that would be great for getting out of a slump. And so I finished this morning, and I have to say I'm not interested in reading more by Talia Hibbert. It's just not for me, the writing. I don't know, I did not like this one. I actually gave it 2 stars, 2.5 maybe it got, I'm not sure. But, okay, can we do this? I don't even know how to explain it. So this is kind of like a rom-com about Chloe Brown, who has fibromyalgia, I believe, which means that she's very sensitive to pain, and she has a lot of pain just like every day. And there is this other guy called Red, who is like superintendent in her building, and they are very attracted to each other, even though honestly I never felt it, I never saw it. They were just mean to each other, or at least that's how they understood each other from the beginning, that they are just mean to each other, they're just arrogant. And then when we saw it from their point of view, Red was actually always nice, and Chloe was the one who was really arrogant. So I don't know, are we supposed to root for her? I don't know. But then we get to know them better and know Chloe better. We know it's kind of like a defense mechanism, I would say. So she's not like arrogant, but she's very confident. But I did not feel the romance whatsoever. I was reading this, I picked it up yesterday after 2 days. No, I don't know. I simply didn't read it for 1 day, and then I picked it the next day, and I just felt like, oh, they're together, right? I totally forgot, because just the way they got together didn't make sense. I wasn't convinced that they belong together. They, for me, are not perfect for each other, as it says in the book. And then there is some things that were just very simplified, like way over the line simplified. I'm not very picky about these things. This is especially about the mental health and like the trauma from previous relationships, but it's too simplified. And then there is one moment when Chloe is just like, oh, I don't know, she's complaining, and then she's like, yeah, right, I don't love myself, I need to love myself. And then she loves herself. And it's like, okay, what just happened? It's not that simple. It doesn't go like that. When you find out you don't love yourself, you don't just start loving yourself because you realized it. But that's how it was in this book exactly. And I'm like, what was that? And it was just, I don't know. I didn't like it. The smutty scenes were very cringy. I did not like the smutty scenes or the dirty talk whatsoever. I did not like their banter. I felt like it bordered on abusive. I know they were not abusive to each other, but if somebody tried to banter with me like that, I would put them in their place real quick. I would make them know that that is not okay to talk to me that way. Now, I know this comes from my personal trauma, but it still made me enjoy the book less. So I know people with different trauma or different experience in lives would not find it at all like in any way toxic or in any way like inappropriate, but I did, and I did not like it. So this one unfortunately didn't work for me, and it was like 2.5 stars, I think. And then also I finished today Murtagh by Christopher Paolini. This was for, yeah, 2 classes, animal studies and something else. This one was fun. I ended up rating it 3.5 stars. There were some things I liked, some things I didn't like. As usual with this series or with these authors, what I've read from him so far, I found some places really interesting and some places really boring. So it is the same as the rest of the series. There were some things that I really, really liked about this book and about how it all wrapped up. I thought it was really nice. It definitely left an open, well, not an open end, it kind of wrapped up, but it definitely left a space for further books. So we'll see if there will be more. I don't know, actually. And then I am reading another book that I need to return to library by Monday. So I have 2 days to read it. Well, I have to return it by Tuesday, but I have another book that I have returned by Monday. So I'm just gonna, return them at the same time. So I have 2 days to read it. So I started it today and I am now 40% through. So making a progress, not as good as I would wish to, but making progress. And it is Doppelganger by Naomi Klein. Why do I always punch myself with the books? Doppelganger by Naomi Klein, A Trip into the Mirror World. And this is a nonfiction, so it didn't really fit many of the prompts, but I found a class that it fits, and it fits demonology. So I'm counting it for demonology. The prompt was a book you didn't pay for. I have it from library, so I didn't pay for it. And this is such a strange book. Like, some parts I really love. I feel like it's really bringing forward some interesting observations and critiques of the society and of the social media and technology. It's criticizing the way that American bipartisan system is working in some way. But then there are also some parts that I don't like at all, because Naomi Klein is very like on the left kind of person. So if you're not on the left, this might not work for you very well, because it is very obvious she is not ashamed of it at all. Not that she should be. It's just a very political book, talking a lot about COVID, about Trump, about everything. And honestly, sometimes I'm really annoyed at some things. I like to look at things from different angles, and she's kind of dismissing everything and portraying her opinion as the truth. I'm sure she is right in many cases, but it's still her opinion, and she portrays it as truth, which is what she's criticizing this other woman for doing. I mean, I'm only 40% through, maybe I'm misunderstanding something, because basically what she's talking about in the book, like what's the point of the book, Doppelganger, is because people online mistake Naomi Klein for Naomi Wolf. And now Naomi Wolf used to be this liberal feminist, doing all the right things. But then she turned and she started to talk about all the crazy things, like vaccines are a scam, COVID is a scam. She is supporting Bannon. Is it his name? She talks a lot about Bannon and his podcast. It's like a commercial for him, really. And she's like obsessed by this woman. And people online apparently mistake them, like Naomi Wolf and Naomi Klein, like the same person. I'm like, how is that possible? It's not like they are both Naomi Klein or both Naomi Wolf. Like, how can they, like, people are just dumb. That isn't like technology's mistake. People are just dumb if they mistake Naomi Klein for Naomi Wolf. Just because of the first name. How simple are you? If it was focused on the actual like digital world problem and how things are portrayed and how society as a whole tends to believe the loudest thing rather than what is truth, like people don't tend to dig behind the stories that they see either on internet or in the news, talk about that. That's a very, very good topic to talk about. But just focusing on people confusing you with Naomi Wolf, and it's just a little strange. But some points, on the other hand, are very interesting. Some of them I'm like, very good point. I really applaud this. And sometimes I'm like, but really? So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so for example, with this one thing about Tucker Carlson, for example, or consider Tucker Carlson taking a break from rallying up white nationalism to claim that his competitors on MSNBC, by saying the words white people, were practicing open race hate and had become the equivalent of Hutu radio broadcasters in Rwanda who stoked the fires of anti-Tutsi hatred before 1994 genocide. And basically, she doesn't develop it more than that. So she's basically just saying that they were complaining, or like that just because they said white people, that they were committing genocide. But if you actually look into it, it was a little different. And they gave many, many, many examples of MSNBC reporters saying that white people caused this, white people did this because of white people here, white people there. And I'm not again saying which side I'm on. I don't know whose side to be on. It's all very confusing. I am just trying to learn from all points of view. And I'm still mostly agreeing with Naomi Klein, but at the same time, this feels a little dishonest. So what else is she dishonest about in the book? So that's all I want to say. I don't know. It just feels like oversimplified, like everything everybody in the politics are saying. They will just take the one thing that fits them and will use it because it fits them and disregard completely the context or everything else. So again, I'm not saying I agree with Tucker Carlson at all. I'm just saying that there is more to the story than she says in the book. So yeah, I don't know. Hello, it is now Monday evening, so it is time to wrap up the vlog. I'm really not doing a good job at wrapping it up on time, but that's okay. We do Monday to Monday or Tuesday to Monday, whatever. Yesterday I did finish The Doppelganger by Naomi Klein. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it, probably like 3 stars. It was very good in some points and very doubtful in others. So it's really hard to describe, but it is a nonfiction, and it is really like Naomi Klein talking about her doppelganger, Naomi Wolf, and about everything she said and did and things like that. And it was just like portraying her own opinions as facts very often. And don't get me wrong, like sometimes, like plenty times I agreed with her, but there were also some times when I was like, this is clearly just your opinion. You're not suggesting or providing any sources to what you're saying, so it's clearly just opinions. And it was just so frustrating sometimes, because I do have 2 other books by Naomi Klein. I haven't read any of them. I haven't read anything or hadn't read anything else by Naomi Klein before. So this was my first book by her, and I had this kind of idea that she is kind of almost like a scholar, you know, like she's very investigative journalist kind of person who investigates all kinds of things and then writes books about them, because she has so many books on so many different topics. And I just assumed that she was, you know, a boss. But from this book, I feel like this book is really unprofessional and very like talking about her hurt ego. Even though many times she did talk about like her doppelganger, Naomi Wolf, while the only thing when they were doppelgangers is their first name. And even she herself, Naomi Klein herself, says in the book a couple times that, oh, they're not actual real doppelgangers because they have nothing in common. Like, just because they have the same skin color and because they have the same name, that doesn't make them doppelgangers. And the entire book is based on the premise that Naomi Wolf is Naomi Klein's doppelganger. So it doesn't match. And there are some places when I felt like, is this a satire? Is this kind of just like mocking some ideas or some people? It was really strange at times. It felt very simplified. Once she was shocked that a person who had Tesla car and was doing yoga was disagreeing with vaccine passports during COVID times. And she was absolutely shocked and devastated. And I'm just wondering, does she think that everybody who does yoga thinks exactly the same thing on the politics spectrum? Because not at all. Like, people can enjoy the same things and yet have very different political opinions. It's just crazy for me that you would ever assume that, oh, this person has a Tesla electric car and solar panels on the roof and doing yoga. She just had the yoga mat and was in the yoga gear. And I was so shocked when she didn't support us, when she didn't support my husband, who was running for office in the party that was trying to make vaccine passports mandatory. She was shocked. And now I'm not saying which side I'm on, like, that's not the point at all, but I do not judge people by what exercise they do, or what cars they own, or what kind of energy they use, what they eat. Like, it's just bonkers to me to think that way. And that she thinks this way, and she puts it in the book, just tells me how in her small box she is. And don't get me like, yeah, there were some really amazing ideas explored and I loved it in some ways. But in many ways, I just felt frustrated because it felt like she herself needs to have a look in the mirror, because what she was criticizing some people for in the book is exactly what she was doing herself in the book. So it was a little meta, but overall, I think it was pretty good. It was very interesting, and it's gonna get the 3 stars. That's it. I was a bit disappointed, but I'm definitely gonna read the other books that I have by her, because when it comes to the facts, I think she really portrays them very well and very interestingly. And she has this way to write that you just want to keep reading because it's so interesting. And then at that point, I was not reading any other book, so I needed to pick what else I was going to read. So I grabbed In His Father's Footsteps. This is for the spells and incantations. But I started it, I read 2 pages, and the first scene, or like, it really starts talking about how terrible concentration camps were and what was happening and how they were moving people around. And I'm like, I do not feel like reading a book like this right now. I don't know, I was just very anxious yesterday and I just couldn't deal with it at all. So I closed it and I found a different book with 22 letters in the title that is a rom-com, kind of. So something that hopefully will not give me anxiety, that is nice and relaxing. So I found on Scribd audiobook for The Bookshop on the Corner by Jenny Colgan. Now, I never read anything by Jenny Colgan before, but I started this book and just the beginning was mwah. In the beginning, like kind of a prologue, not really prologue, but it's the author talking to, so it's like author's note before you start reading. And she talks about places to read. So all the places you can read on the bed, and what is the trouble with reading in bed? You start falling asleep after 2 pages, so you kind of wake up the next day thinking if there actually were pink unicorns running across the street in the book. And you find out that no, they were not, you were just dreaming it while trying to read. Or in the bath, or on the lounge chair, or it was so much fun to read that. It was author's note, but I was having a time. It was awesome. So I was like, I'm in, this sounds great. And then a book that I do not have audiobook for, so something I have to read physically, I picked Ready Player One. This is for the class Art of Illusion, prompt game or play in the title. So Ready Player One and Bookshop on the Corner are my 2 next reads. And I'm really like, I haven't started this yet, and I read maybe like 25 pages from the bookshop on the corner. So I'm not far in at all. So I will talk to you more about all of that next time. Now, how am I doing when it comes to the readathon? I think I'm just on time. I'm doing fine. I finished 2 books, but one of them was the huge 600-page book. And I have 5 left. We are halfway through the month, so I'm actually not doing that well. But it's okay. I got it all under control. And I wanted to show you how I progressed with the diamond painting. Give me a second. So you remember when I showed you in the beginning of the vlog, very beginning of the vlog, that I was doing diamond painting and how far in I was not? Maybe like 2/3. How far am I now? Can you see? There is only a little bit on the bottom that is not done. So I'm almost done. I spent the entire weekend working on this. So the only thing that is missing is this bottom part here. So I could be done with it, honestly, today or tomorrow. So that will be in the next vlog. Best cliffhanger ever. Anyway, that's it for this vlog. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you watched this far, please leave me Halloween emoji. Okay, because this is obviously a Halloween themed diamond painting. So leave me a Halloween emoji if you watch this far. I appreciate every single one of you who watches my videos, especially vlogs. And yeah, even though it was a little bit boring one again, but I hope you still enjoyed. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!